Here.
Huh?
Yeah. So my family had gone to India for the winter break for 2.5 weeks, and I was home alone for that time, and I had absolutely nothing to do. It was freaking cold outside and there was nothing basically to do. So I was just thinking, being an engineering kid myself, I decided to come up with a product that was cool but simple at the same time. So I've really engineered products in the past for university, for school projects and assignments and stuff, but I'd never really made a product that was completely out of my own interest. So I was just thinking, what product could be best suited for the time I had? I thought of making a crappy ass car, but I was like, no man. But then it struck me. I always had a huge adulation and passion for this one thing, and that was airplanes. So I thought I might as well make something along that lane, you know? Okay, so I didn't have the funds to make a fully functional Airbus A380. Oh, but this, by the way, this is a replica model of the actual Airbus A380. I got it for 90 bucks, 1:400 scale. Got it from Dubai duty free. I mean, if you have the product, you might as well flex it. Anyway, I decided to make something that was a tad less complicated to make in comparison to the A380, and that was a paper plane. So I tried to make this remote controlled, semi-remote controlled. Okay, it might look easy and stuff, but the factors you gotta deal with in making a paper plane remote controlled, the aerodynamics of the wing, the positioning of the propellers, motors, battery, and freaking what do you call it, the center of gravity, and oh my goodness, that was such a pain in the butt, holy crap. I mean, consider this. If that takes so much stuff to deal with a paper plane, imagine making a full-fledged 747. So here's how I made the semi-RC paper plane. So for the circuit board, I used a quadcopter. I used the circuit of the quadcopter. I found the smallest one I could possibly find. And actually, let me rephrase that. I used the most lightweight one I could find because weight plays such a key part when it comes to making a paper plane. Holy crap. So in baby language, what that means is the lighter the circuit board is, the lighter the paper plane would be. And the lighter the paper plane would be, the more airtime it'll have. Step 2, soldering. Out of the entire process of making a paper plane with the circuit board and everything, this was the most annoying part, the most pain in the butt thing to do. Because trust me, it's really bad. For those of you who don't know what soldering is, let me explain in baby language. So you have a very, very hot pencil. This is a metal pen, it's called the soldering iron. And you got solder right here. This right here, you combine them together, this melts. Use that liquid to combine parts together, like a circuit board and a wire, or two wires together, or a resistor or a capacitor to a circuit board. Also, be very careful when you solder, because there's a very good chance you might get burnt, because the entire thing is really, really hot. And if you don't take precautions, this could happen. Yeah, man, that was not fun. I don't know why I'm laughing, jeez. Major shout out to Walmart, because I got 3 different drones consecutively and I burnt each circuit all the time because of my stupid soldering skills. So yeah, thank you Walmart. Walmart refunds, man, it's nice. Step 3 is the making of the plane. This is where I predominantly learned everything about the essential facts of the plane, like the aerodynamics of the wing, how propellers produce thrust, the CG of the plane, how a quadcopter functions, and like a bunch of other cool stuff. See, I wouldn't have time to explain all these points to you because I'm pretty sure it'll bore you guys to death, but I'll try to cover the gist of it in a fun way. So I broke down step 3 into 2 different parts. One was the design of the paper plane itself, the way the paper plane was made, and number 2 was how I placed the circuit board, the propellers, and the motors onto the paper plane. So I made different types of paper planes just to test its aerodynamics. Some of them were small, some of them were broad, some of them were cute. I just tried them all. So the second part of this step was to place the circuit board and everything on the plane. So my first model is called Model 1, and I referenced the design based off a twin engine plane. And Model 1 was the most successful disaster I had. I threw it and it fell down. It didn't even fly, it just like directly fell off. Which is when I decided to call one of my guys at 2 o'clock in the morning, and his very inspiring words were, "You messed up the wind flow above and below the wing." And I was like, yo, that makes sense. Because if you remember, there was this freaking cardboard piece on top, which messed the whole thing up. So let me explain how a wing basically works. There are pressure points created up and about. You know what, one sec, hold on. This is a bigger version of the plane I just had. This is 1:200 scale, 1:400 to 200 scale. And I don't know, man, with 200 bucks? Dubai Terminal 3 Airport. Shout out. Anyway, so there's lower pressure created on top of the wing, and there's high pressure at the bottom of the wing. And that keeps the plane at lift, and that's how, you know what, it doesn't matter. I just worked on that idea and I tweaked it, and I made a better model. Cut to Model 6. This damn thing didn't even fly through. My goodness Christ. It had very little thrust. And let me explain what thrust is. The forward motion of a plane in a certain direction it is flying is called thrust. The back is called drag. The back is drag. Okay, now this was pissing me off. Why was this not flying? It did have some thrust at least. It was lightweight as hell. So why the hell was this not flying? The thought really hit me when I was sitting with one of my friends and he was talking about his life and stuff. And then I found out it was about the balance. The center of gravity, basically. Finally, Model 14 worked. It traveled a good 9.5 feet before it landed. The thrust was very strong here compared to the previous models. Yeah, and I did measure the weight kind of accurately and legally, I guess. Anyway, check the test flight out. Here you go. So yeah, that was the throw. Okay, it might have looked small on the camera, the distance, but it actually wasn't. We did cover about 8 to 9 feet if you actually measure it. Considering the fact that there was a lot of weight in the front, a paper plane can't carry so much. If you worked on that the next time we made it, it would have been pretty good. Also, we did have 2 propellers that helped provide thrust for this and lift. Look at this scene, look what happened here. The soldering broke down too, so that's kind of sad. Anyway, the next time I work on this project, I'll probably work on the weight. Try to get a smaller battery, a better circuit board. I'll try to use an Arduino next time to get some, get the turns working. See these turns over here? I'll try to get that working too. This entire project was rudimentary, it was very simple, but there was a huge learning curve to it. I highly recommend you guys try it out yourself. You might learn a lot about planes and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I know I could have made a simple paper plane and could have gotten it to fly almost the same distance as this paper plane did. But again, the entire motive of this project was to learn how a paper plane or normal plane basically flies and how the essential parts of it help in its making. So yeah, man, that's basically the project. If you're trying to consider making a plane, consider these 3 points: the aerodynamics of the plane, the wings, the propellers and stuff. Number 2 would be the center of gravity. Number 3 would be the thrust created by the motor. Also consider the lift of the plane, that helps too. So yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching. If you found something you want to tell me, something I could work on for this project, please do tell me. I'd love to learn. If there's something you want me to tell you, I could help you out with that too. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, also leave a thumbs up because who cares. So thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it.